it's Bernadette. I'm here with your Pisces Tarot reading for January 2020. Oh, sweet Pisces, you have the sweetest card come out for you this month. The Seahorse. Oh my gosh, could there be a better card for you to start off 2021 with your watery, sweet, gentle, nurturing heart? And in swims the gentle, sweet, nurturing seahorse. Holy guacamole. Oh, you are just starting off 2020 in a place that you love, which is love, which is for everybody and everything to feel loved, be happy. You Pisces, I just love you, Pisces. Your motto is I believe. And you do. You're delicate, you're sensitive, you're so ethereal. You're just like these gossamer souls that teach our world how to love unconditionally. And you just spend your whole life just you make fairy tales come true because you believe so hard and so much, and you're just these magical beings. And have I said how much I love Pisces? So listen, this month now, okay, there are going to be some, just to be clear, okay, there are going to be for you this month, Pisces, just a little bit of rocky undercurrents, okay, not a lot, just a little. And that's okay because Seahorse is going to be by your side, just so you know. So this is a tarot reading, right? And it is, but I read from my own deck, which is the Arc Animal Tarot and Oracle deck. And in the deck, there is a whole suit of 78, tarot cards that are matched up with the amazing power of the spirit totem and power animals. And then there are a whole bunch of additional oracle cards that are available that are bringing forth everything, that the magic and the medicine and the energy of the spirit animals. And so this time for January, you have the Seahorse, which is an oracle card in the mystery pack. Well, what's so cool about that is in the mystery pack, that is all about adding that extra dimension from the other side, right? From beyond the veil to what's happening for you right now. So when we take a look at some of those undercurrents that are going to happen, somewhere around the 5th of the month, Neptune's opposition with the moon in Virgo might compel you to sort out some business that you'd probably rather ignore. You're such a believer that sometimes you can purposefully ignore the present, the here and the now. And believe me, I understand that. I want to do it all the time. I want to go bury my head under the water in the sand somewhere and just flow with the flow, but sometimes you can't. And around the 5th of January, you might receive some little reminder that it's time to buckle down and take care of some practical business before you sit back, relax, and bring more magic in and live more fairy tale stuff, right? But take your cue from Seahorse. Listen, seahorses are itty bitty creatures, itty bitty creatures. But when those, undercurrents start coming through in the ocean, in the sea, they just wrap that tail around. You're a fish. They just wrap that tail around some seaweed or something they can hang on to, and they just kind of undulate with whatever's going on. They hunker down, and they just do what needs to be done. They just ride it out. And really, that's, you just got to ride it out and not get caught up in the storm that's going to go on around you. Now, I don't feel like, and it doesn't necessarily show in the chart, that it's going to be a storm. But I live in Florida, y'all. So what is just a regular storm to us scares the Pewallican jazzies out of some other people. I mean, when that first bam, you've never been around a Florida thunderstorm, that first clap of thunder will light you up. And I've watched many a person go white as a ghost and start to cry because they think their world is coming to an end. And then that you smell it first, and then that whoosh, you can hear that rain coming through the woods. I love it. It's some of the best days of my life. But for other people, they're like, I gotta go back up north. And I'm like, bye. So I don't think it's going to be all that, but it is going to be something that you're going to watch out for. And like in Florida, you may smell that rain first, meaning it may, that whatever this whatever this thing is that's going to come along, you may smell it first. Like in one of your senses, you may have a sense of it. When I say smell, that can be very metaphorical. You're like, I don't know, something just doesn't feel right. And that's akin to us in Florida smelling the rain before that first clap of thunder, or we hear it. Because usually what happens is you smell it, Well, that's not true. It can happen all kind of ways. It can be bright as it wants to be outside. You're outside. Oh, la, la, I'm in my garden. And, the weathermen in Florida, I don't even listen to them. I pay attention to what's going on in nature, because they're going to tell you, that radar will show one thing, and you refresh your page and it's got a completely different thing. You're like, dang. So you just do your own thing. But, you can be outside and it be sunny as it wants to be. All of a sudden, that clap of thunder comes through and it lifts you right up off the ground. And you're like, oh, look at the time. It's time to go inside, before I get struck by lightning and become a crispy critter. So it may be something like that. So don't ignore that. As much as you want to go to that Disney place in your head and your heart, you can't ignore it. Okay, so I've harped on that enough. I'm going to move on. When you take a look at, Pisces, just in terms of your zodiac sign, your star sign, and you take a look at some of your personality, your traits, your characteristics. Again, you're just the fairy princesses fairy princes and princesses. And the mood swings that you guys can have, right? Upside fish and downside fish. As you go through this month, because there will already be, just from an astrology standpoint, there will already be a little bit of, please, 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 you've got to make sure to try to keep yourself balanced. Don't go too far up and don't go too far down, because both of those ways that you go, they're going to be too much. And it will be a little bit more difficult for you to bring yourself out of either one of them. And theoretically, hey, if you go in your upside fish and you're like, hey, I'm riding the high, dun, 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 that's okay, that's awesome. But that does not help you in the practical world. And once upon a time, I just, I had the dearest friend. Oh, I miss her terribly. And she was the consummate Pisces. A sweeter, kinder, more benevolent, more forgiving. I just don't have enough good things to say about this person. When she was the upside Pisces, when she was the downward facing Pisces, she was not a person that could garner great respect. Consequently, she got herself into a butt load of trouble in her lifetime. But God love her. And, or as we say down here, bless her heart. And I mean that sometimes when we say bless their heart, what we're really saying is you're just such an idiot. But sometimes when we say bless your heart, we mean that really sincerely, like, God, I wish we could save you. So, this is not a month to go too high or too low. Because again, it's going to be a little bit difficult to extract yourself out of that chaos that's going on under the currents there and get balanced and be able to ride out that storm. Now, when you're a Pisces that does live your real, because listen, this is not our real life, right? God, I hope it's not. I call this our unreal life. It could be a hologram. It could be a figment of our imagination. Who knows what it could be, right? We could be, I don't know, we could be in a simulation. We don't know for sure. And so when the really amazing thing, after I'm like, don't live so far here and don't so far there, you may not be able to get out of it. The flip side of that, right? Again, upside and downside. When you're a Pisces that lives, part of your life in the water, which is the emotions, and part of your life on land, it's really not that you live on land so much as you live with your head in the clouds. And so that's a really long way for somebody to have a pipeline for information. You can bring it up from the very depths, and you can bring it down from the divine heavens. Your information, because, they say that Pisces is the second most psychic sign of the zodiac after Scorpio. And I will tell you that every Pisces I've ever known, man, their spidey senses, even when they're like, I'm not psychic, I'm not psychic, I'm not psychic, and they weren't drawn to anything metaphysical at all or spiritual at all, I'm not psychic, I'm not psychic. Okay, how do you think you knew that? Okay, how do you think you knew that? Oh, it's just a mother's gut instinct, or it's just this, or it just makes sense. Okay. Bottom line is you are as psychic as you want to be. And so this month, this is going to be a really great month. If for no other reason not to ride those highs too high or for too long, or those lows too low for so long, The other reason of that is so that you can take some time to get those downloads and really be sure what you're hearing and seeing and feeling, because there's just this thing about you that you just always want to soak in the information. I want the data. I need to know. I need all the information. I need all the data. Don't put it all in front of me. That's awesome, because you can take it in and you can assimilate it and you can organize it and you can, man, it's crazy what you guys can do. And there's going to be a call for you to do that during, during this time. Now, your number vibration in numerology, you're the number 3. So I would take a little bit and I would look up the number 3. The link will be down in the comments below. And then your twin, the chakra that you're working with is the sacral chakra. That, of course, is the Pisces chakra. And then your zodiac, your twin zodiac sign, the Chinese zodiac, is the rabbit, which is just a perfect partner for you. I mean, they don't, believe me, rabbits don't like water, y'all. They're not into the water at all. But sweet and benevolent and just, they're very so much associated with Easter, with the spring equinox, where it's just about the birth of everything beautiful. And who doesn't love a baby, right? Okay, so, and listen, if babies aren't the big I believe thing, I just, I was never fortunate enough to have children, and I have never been able to wrap my head around the courage or just the sheer belief in yourself that you have the capacity. And not all parents are like this. I understand. Believe me, I know. But just the ones that are very Pisces-like, that you have the capacity to just believe in yourself that you have that much love to give one thing for the rest of their life. And that you have, I don't even know what goes through y'all's heads when you do this. I just am such in awe of it. Still at 54, I see a pregnant lady, or a buddy of mine on Facebook just announced she was pregnant, and I was like, oh, Misty, I don't. It's like her second or third kid, and I'm like, because you are bringing that magic into the world. You're bringing a whole new belief of something. So this is a really fertile time for you. Just remember that, and that could mean fertile, because rabbits. Okay, when you think of the Chinese zodiac, rabbits procreate like nobody's business, right? So just be sure. Because if you're riding that high too high for too long, or you're riding the low for too long, you may miss the opportunity to have whatever fertility that you want to have. And that could be a human baby, it could be a business, it can be something you want to achieve for yourself or others. Listen, it could be just about going to the movies. Okay, it could be that simple. Probably not, but it could be. So, just be sure that whatever those inspirations you're getting, or those downloads, that psychic information that you're drawing up from the bottom of the oceans and the seas and down from the heavens, let that flow through you. Be just like a seahorse. And, you're going to work really, really well with others this month. You always do. But particularly those that have a masculine energy, because in the seahorse world, it is the males that, that get pregnant, carry the babies, carry the eggs, and then, birth the eggs. So there's going to be something about the divine masculine that's going to play in for you this month too. So I hope that was helpful. Pick up your copy of the Arcanimal Tarot and Oracle deck. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Get all of your metaphysical magic here. And I will see you next month. And no matter what you do throughout this month, what is the most important thing what's your job? What's your most important thing that you've got to do for yourself and for the world to stay wild?